Well, Russian investigators say a suicide bomber was behind Monday's metro bombing in St. Petersburg. Authorities have identified the suspect as Akbarjon Jalilov. The 22-year-old, born in Kazakhstan, was a Russian citizen. At this point in time, no group has claimed responsibility for the attack, and the bomber's motives are unclear. Russia is mourning the victims of Monday's attack. The health minister confirms that 14 people died. 4 others remain in a critical condition. Well, Oren Libermann is covering the investigation from St. Petersburg. Oren, the Russian bomber identified as this 22-year-old man that was living there in St. Petersburg. What are investigators saying about him?
Well, at this point, investigators first are giving us an idea about how they came to the conclusion that it was, in fact, 22-year-old Akbarjon Jalilov who was behind, or who they say was behind the bombing. They say they found his DNA on an unexploded bomb that authorities found and were able to disarm and defuse. And they used that DNA, combined it with closed-circuit television, to come to the conclusion, they say, that it was Jalilov who both planted the bomb at the Revolutionary Square metro stop, which is 1 or 2 spots away from where the bomb, in fact, did explode, killing 14, wounding dozens, and leaving a few still in critical condition at this point. They do say, and they do point out, that we're still just over 24 hours after this bombing attack happened, so this is still the very early stages of the investigation, and they do caution that these are preliminary findings, but it gives us some idea of the direction of where this investigation is going. We'd heard some speculation yesterday that this might be a suicide bomb. That wasn't officially confirmed until today, but now we see a clearer picture of what happened here. And this was the Russian Foreign Ministry and the Kyrgyzstan Foreign Ministry speaking together, saying this is the person they believe carried out this attack, a Kyrgyzstan native, a Russian citizen who'd been here in St. Petersburg for a few years. Linda?
Oren, Russia is a terrorist target, in part due to their actions in Syria, although the foreign minister there doesn't want that connection made. Just what is the threat level there?
Well, ISIS has made it quite clear in recent months and years that Russia is one of the targets as it carries out a prolonged bombing campaign in Syria. But it's not purely a Syrian threat. Russia has seen increased radicalization in Kyrgyzstan and some of the other Central Asian countries there, and that is part of the growing threat. In addition, there are thousands of Russians who have gone off to fight in Syria for ISIS. They become battle-hardened, and they become more radicalized, and they return, and their intent is to carry out attacks like this or attacks similar to this. It's certainly on Russia's radar, and that is part of what we might see in terms of a crackdown, in terms of an attempt by the Kremlin to stop or combat that sort of radicalization and those sort of attempts to carry out attacks on Russian soil here.
And Oren, there was, of course, that other explosive device that was found and neutralized. Does that suggest that there could be another attacker out there, or concerns of a larger network?
It did seem to at first, and that was a very easy conclusion to come to, but the latest from the Russian Investigative Committee is, again, from their DNA testing and from their closed-circuit television that they've been able to look at in the hours and now the day after the attack here. They say that it is one person, it was Jalilov, who both planted the bomb that didn't explode and then blew himself up between this station here, the Sanaya Square station, and the next station down the line here. So they say it is one person, at least at this point, behind both of the bombs, the one that exploded and the one that didn't.
All right, Oren Libermann, great to have you on the scene down there. Thanks so much. Well, still to come, we'll have the latest on reports of a chemical attack in Syria and the criticism it's fueling against a recent shift in policy in the Trump administration.